La Spinona is our Barbaresco producer, and the origin of this relationship also stems from during the time of COVID. Actually, it was a winery that was presented to me, and I got the samples the third week of lockdown. I think going back to the origin story of H. Mercer, our philosophy, I've been searching for Barbaresco the entire time that we've been importers. And I'm not just going to bring in a Barbaresco just to have Barbaresco. And it just happened to be that during lockdown, when we had no idea whether the world was going to open up again, and what we were doing is the time that I was tasting the La Spinona wines. I tasted them and I said, look, I don't know when we're going to reopen, but when we do, these wines need to be in our portfolio. The family has been there for 100 years, and it really is a traditional winery. And when I talk about tradition, I know there's always things like, what is tradition to you? What is tradition to someone else? But Barbaresco is always elegance. Elegance with a great amount of this kind of rough and gritty texture that also blends together and gives something that's just so beautiful. And the La Spinona wines really give that. They're located right in the town of Barbaresco, right next to the tower of Barbaresco. And it's Pietro who is the winemaker now. His father, when he was young, with his father, they were along the Tanaro River, and he fell in. And their family Spinona breed dog jumped in, pulled him out of the river, and saved his life. And after that, they named the property after the breed of dog Spinona. And the dog, Baika, has always been revered as the savior of the family. So the wines that we carry from La Spinona are in Barbaresco and in Barolo. So we'll get to Barolo in a second, but Barbaresco is the most important. Their vineyard site that you see from the property is the Facette MGA, and that is the cru. The Brico Facette is the top of the hill. In general, you're not allowed to say where you are on the hill of a cru. But because they've always said the word Brico, which is the top of the hill, and Facette together, they are still able to say Brico Facette. The wines are all aged in big Slavonian casks. I mean, I think the smallest barrel I saw was 35 hectoliters, but most of them are between 40 and 60 hectoliter barrels. So this is a very traditional style where it's about oxygenating the wine, but not imparting anything else from the wood, just showing the purity of the fruit of the Nebbiolo varietal. The Reserva that we have is coming from the tippity top of that Facette cru. And it is a vineyard selection at the top. And that is what makes it the top selection and goes into the Reserva for the Brico Facette. The other Nebbiolo cru wine that we have is the Sori Gepin. The Sori Gepin is in Barolo and is a little bit west of Monforte d'Alba and also not as high in elevation. The wines still have a little bit more of that Barolo Nebbiolo like power and structure, but still very elegant. And I think it really works and well with the ideals of a Barbaresco maker to make a Barolo in this area, because it has the similar finesse and style that you think of in Barbaresco. One thing to know about the Barbaresco and Barolo laws is that you're not actually were allowed to have vineyards in Barolo and in Barbaresco and vinify them in different areas. But they've always had their property also in Novello, next to the Sori Gepin vineyard. And so this is why they can also have Barbaresco and Barolo designation and different vineyard sites. The Langhe Nebbiolo from La Spinona is not just Langhe from the entire region, and that's something you can do, but what it is actually, it's the northern portion of the Facette Cru. So it's still right there in the middle of Barbaresco. It is not just from vineyards all over the place. And with the coming of climate change, these northern facing vineyards are actually getting better and better and better. And so that's why you're seeing the quality of the Langhe Nebbiolo from this vineyard site, which is the Facette Cru, but just on the northern exposure, giving such great quality. And this one is also aged, it's fermented in stainless steel and then aged in Slavonian cask afterwards.